Woo! Ebe among Yema. Maman a de la IPCA, le maquis, je suis la plus belle. Tout Dali, mon Dieu Seigneur, à ce moment ça. Rachel de Kibo, je suis AD. Tu n'es pas conscient, moi je suis conscient. Again for listening. We say thank you very much. It's a wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. We're having some issue already with our camera again tonight. I thought we have that taken care of, but we're working on it. We're working on it. So just bear with us. If it gets to be too bad, we might have to shut down and come back up because there's a way to fix it. We know how. We just never did that today. We took it for granted. And apparently that might hurt us here tonight. That's life. You take something for granted, you get hurt. If they told us what I need to do when I come on air, what I need, and tonight I decided to play the Toll Town way. So who knows? I might get hurt here tonight. And that's life history. You don't take anything for granted. When they ask you, people who know something, they ask you, this is what needs to be done. If you don't follow the protocol, if you don't follow the procedures, you get hurt. So hopefully I won't be hurt tonight, but if my camera gets stuck and things like that, people have already explained to me what I need to do. I just wanted to go the Toll Town way. Let's get it going. Thank you, folks. It's a packed show tonight. Hopefully you'll be able to follow us as we move our hands and stuff like that. Hopefully you'll be able to get us going as well. It's a wonderful packed show, as I stated to you already. We are going to be talking about a lot of stuff here tonight. With some are very exciting to us, and I hope you will be able to follow us as well. As usual, before we do that, let's go on to Dr. Weir, of course, President of the Republic of Liberia, who is president not in Liberia. Dr. Weir is not in Liberia. He's traveling, to be honest with you. I think I'm not too sure how this young man keep up with the traveling issue as much as he does. I don't know if he have that. I don't think I have that kind of strength to be able to travel. But he's the president. If that's what is required, that's what the role requires for him to fulfill, then why not? Why not? I'm just wondering where the money coming from. Where the money come from. That's another issue. But anyway, I'm not going to touch that tonight. That's not my subject matter here tonight. So let's go on. During the election, let's watch Dr. Weir during the election. I have a packed show here tonight. Let's watch Dr. Weir during the election and walking in the mud.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you so you can hold.
No, I beg you.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you.
And there you have it. There you have it. That's the president of the Republic of Liberia during the election, walking in the mud of bad roads in Liberia. And I thought that this is very fitting as well to be able to show that tonight. CDC just has some wonderful day today, memorizing some of the, trying to memorialize some of the people, Liberians, sedition that got killed. I believe it was 2011, and we'll go into that. But any loss of life, it doesn't matter whether on football field, a battlefield, whatever it is, a loss of life is very sad, and we once again sympathize with those family members that are yet to be reminded today of what is happening. This is supposed to be a very somber day for all of us, not just sedition, all of us as Liberians, to have another child or brother get killed in a political engagement. I thought that was very sad those days, and I think it's still sad. So, but we'll go to that. One other good news. I'd like to put good news first, I'm getting ready. I'm going to be calling people's tennis edition again tonight. So you get ready to come on and do whatever you want to do to defend yourself. It doesn't matter to me, but I'll be using that words tonight again. Anyway, Dr. Wheeler, tonight there was an appointment. You see, this is what we do in this community. Whether be in Liberia or even here in the diaspora. Once we don't like something, we don't think to try to look into it, to investigate, to research before we open our mouths. That's a young man, Elisha Talu, from fair information, folks. Just to be fair to those of you that are listening. Lashitaru is just like a little brother to me, to be honest with you. Very respectful young man, very talented Liberians. But I went on some, when the news came today, first thing I called Honorable Fred Talu and I congratulated him because, they're all about saying Talu is older than Fred, but Honorable Fred, that is, Fred Guion, that is, President Fred Guion, that is. I don't mean to call him just Fred. But anyway, Honorable Talu is a little bit older than President Fred Guion, but they're about the same age group, and they're all respectful. For them to even allow me to be in their mix in this community, I really, really do appreciate it. You know me, I got big mouth. Some of them and myself are gone at it, nasty. But nevertheless, there are those who respect me, and in return, I respect them as well. One of those is Honorable Elisha Talu. And Talu, somebody wrote on their page today, another empty hair crewman. Well, first of all, Talu is not a crewman. And second, Talu is far, far from being empty-headed. In our community, when I'm asked to do something, and I have to do something in the community that I want to put some sort of a respectable face on that, I contact this young man. Because in all of our dealing with each other in this community, you will not hear any of us, those of us that got big mouth, those of us that are quick to throw words at each other. Mr. Talu was never like that. He wants to help. He's involved, not because of his education, or not because he feels he's working Wall Street, and so he's better. No, he doesn't feel like that. He comes down to people like Samson Toe, the man from Total who don't know nothing. Yeah, the man, he know all the book, but then he still call me big brother. But people, you're not see here before? Somebody who know all the book, plenty book like that. They mean I don't know nothing, but when I call you, he answer. Call me big brother. Oh, yeah, begin. Thank you. Congratulations. Dr. we appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's not because he's from Grange, but the fact that he has the ability. And these are some of the things that we continue to ask. To be honest with you, he doesn't have to come from Grange, but as long as he has the ability, he has the qualification, pick him. Now watch. Let us now watch how this particular government, the bank, what exactly Mr. Talu is bringing on the table. Please don't prejudge him. Let's watch from his performance. Let's give him the opportunity as well. Well, you say, Mr. Talu, you never give other people opportunity. Go sue me. Sam said to I don't beat it. I'm not beating this thing with any kind of go sue me. But anyway, no, folks. I just want to say it again on a very serious note. Honorable Talu came in around the very right time because I hope that he would take the bank of the central bank to another level. He has that ability. He does. He's one of those kids. Well, excuse me. I'm older than him. He's one of those young men that you don't say are sweet. He left for people to say the chicken sweet. Mr. Talu will never boast of what he does. Every time we get together and I try to make him, okay, this guy, we said, no, Mr. Talu, it's not about that. I'm here with my people tonight. Forget about Wall Street. Forget about this and that. I'm here with my people. That's what we do. He would, all of the convention, most of the convention, whether people rankling or whatever, Mr. Talu will show up to show his support for his people. He never put himself, with all of the certificate and what have you he had, He never put himself above anything else except to serve his people. So I think with that kinds of mentality, I'm happy that he was given this opportunity, and I'm sure we were all going to be happy. But of course, you're talking about Liberians. When was the last time Liberians ever be happy of something? Except 1980. And the happiness last for maybe about a week when they were dancing in the street. After that, that was it. Okay? But I'm on a very serious, I'm sure Mr. Talu would do a wonderful job. And will let us all continue to pray for him. Because if he fails, and I said if, Liberia is going down anyway. So if he fails, we're not going to be successful. So why can't we all pray and hope that he will be successful? My only concern, and I hope this is the time, because Minister Tue has already distanced himself from the central bank. Remember the $25 million? He said, I ain't got nothing to do with it. These people know how to do it. That's why they put in there. That's why they. Now, Minister Tue, please stay away now. If you have to collaborate with him to carry on something, that's different. But don't meddle into the thing. You say you want to deal with it. The $25 million, you say you got nothing to do with it. You go to the central bank. Let's see if Mr. Talu can help us out. Please. Sam Sinto, LIBERIA Public Radio, folks. Tonight's show, this is not all. I just want to point out, and once again, I want to thank CDC and the Dr. Weah government. I'm sure they didn't pick him because he provided a vote for Dr. Weah and CDC. I don't believe it. I know most likely. I don't even know that if he's CDC. I think he is. And that's who he is. He never boasts. And not like some of the people, CDC man, I want to know that form CDC in the place. You know what we did? We went from state to state forming CDC. He never boasts of anything. If you see him in public until he opens his mouth, you will think about, come man, where they get a man from Total and just bring him into America? What kind of business is that? But when he opens his mouth and decide to discuss, then he say, the man from Nigeria, or he from Ghana, or he from Sierra Leone? What kind of book is this? That's who he is. That's who I am. Very, very proud this afternoon. When I heard it, I heard this news. Another young man, another exciting Nigerian called me about two or 3 weeks ago. He said, Roku. I said, yeah. He said, okay, your son do it again. I said, what happened? He said, oh, the people getting ready to need your son. I said, whoa. I got plenty of them. He said, oh, you know the Pekin, your own Pekin, Talu. I said, oh, they're going to need it. I was so happy, so excited when he told me. I said, good, I'm hoping. And then for that to happen, I mean, all day today when I call Fred, I pretty much have tears in my eyes because these are all the young Nigerians that some of us like to see them improving because they have worked too hard for themselves. They study, they educated themselves, and we know these things. So if the opportunity is there for them to do whatever they have to do for the country, I hope people will give them that opportunity. And when I heard the news today, when I read it, I have tears in my eyes because he's not the only person. We have many young Nigerians. They just don't like to show off. And then I've been telling them, y'all show us more. All the plenty of book, y'all not learn crumpy, y'all show a little bit. Let the people know your crumpy, y'all know book too. But they don't like to do that. They always I'm not going to call another person name. I'm not going to call that name. Hey, Mr. Toe, what I know God gave me, I'm not going to go and boast out there. Boasting doesn't mean anything. Let people say, oh, he can do it. Look at the kind of work. Let my performance show that I'm capable of doing. But Mr. Toe, something Toe, I don't care. I boast. Hey, I'm the best engineer in the whole world. Yeah, right, from Total. Samson Toe. Folks, I'm on again this evening. I want to thank Dr. Weah and CDD for nominating this young man. I'm sure he will make all of us proud, and I'm sure we will be very, very proud. But then again, one of my worries, and I hope, but these are Liberians anyway, I hope that people, jealousy don't start setting in, and people start undercutting his abilities. People start running politics, Liberian politics. Oh, they make he did that, they all kinds of stuff. Okay, I hope that we will not do that. But I promise you one thing, though. Like I said, he's a little brother. So if anybody, I'm going to be on the social media. If I find anything that is far from truth, whether it's my time to come on or not, I will go live and make it clear. We have similar situation here the other day. Side by. We have similar situation about a few nights ago. On one young man, James Flomo show, another Grandian, young guy, young kid, probably not more than 30-something years old, came on because he's a sedition, and Pastor Zaria is a heavy critic of CDC, and I don't agree with most of the things that Pastor Zaria talk about. I don't agree with it. I'm not in support of it, but he's my brother. He's an older brother, okay? So when I saw what this man was saying about Pastor Zaria, I know the truth. And I thought to myself, I need to call. But just before I did that, another brother who also having to know the truth called his show and tried to give them, try to straighten out the record. And I called Mr. Zaria the next day. He said, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. Okay? So, but when we make these kinds of pronouncements on public like this, we have to make sure that we do it with a clear sense of responsibility. There's no question asked. Anyway, let me go on to my show. Sedition, let's get it rocking. Let's get it rocking. Because what I saw today, I'm not pleased. And I'm getting ready to hammer down the criticism. But I will do so with responsibility. I will do so with respect. And I'm not here to degrade anybody. Let's get it going. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. But before I do that, let me do what I usually do here.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me in the buffer. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not build it, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not build it, we can make it happen.
Okay, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. All right, let's go on. Like I said, I have a show here tonight for you. CDC, let's get it going. Let's get it going. I'm not going to be. First of all, like I said, somebody already something in your favor. No, this is not it. Those of you that know who I am and how I operate on my show, if something is not right, I say so. If something is right, I've come out here. I've been out here demanding what's his name? Samuel 12 resign. I've been, and then when he's doing something good, I come out here and praise Samuel 12. You can attest to that. So why try to put me down? Anyway, that's your problem. You deal with it. But let's go on. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. CDC decided today to do this, to launch what they call CDC TV. And I thought it was, first of all, I want to congratulate them for giving voice to many Liberians. Hopefully this service is going to be utilized positively. But from just from start, if you look at what started today, I found that maybe I could be wrong, but just from the start, I think they're on the wrong path, my opinion. I'm entitled to it. But first of all, let me congratulate them for putting about CDC TV. It's a wonderful thing to do, but it must be utilized effectively. It must be utilized positively for all Liberians, to be able to get informative news that can be utilized. Okay? But what did they do today? They decided they were going to go and use the TV to bring up some old stories. Some of the stories are very sad, and we sympathize to those brothers and sisters whose family got killed. It could have been mine also, because I have relatives in CDC, so it's not like I was far removed. That could have been any of my relatives. That could have been in the CDC full of crown people. And then let me let y'all know now if you don't know it. So it's not like that's a far removed. But for you to open a TV station on this and say we will use this date to remind Liberians what people have done to us in the past, that's good. But I think in order for you to memorialize these brothers and sisters, whoever the past in the struggle, in order for you to memorialize them, I believe the best way could have been to show what CDC-led government have done for the people of the Republic of Liberia since they took office, and not to come out and show clips of people saying, oh, look, you see how they were beating CD. Those are past. So what do you want to do? You want to go and repeat the same thing? I thought the opening of the show today was not effective at all. This is not a war. Let's CDC, let me let you know again, you're not at war with anybody. Intellectual war, maybe. But then you need to do more. You can't just come out and bring out violent past. In fact, Samson too have always believed that CDC with that discipline, that's always been my son. And so when I went home and went to CDC headquarters, one of my fears that I have that day, and I keep saying it, I believe strongly that the sedition were going to flock me. Because perhaps they have seen my show, condemning them and say they're not disciplined or what have you. But they didn't do that day. In fact, I was invited. One of the young security, after I parked my car in the yard, right in his yard, parked my car. Excuse me. I parked my car, and the guy said, "Oh, because I have my press badges and things like that. They have already issued me badges because I was there to cover the inaugural program." So they said, "Oh, come on!" He took me to his captain. The captain then took me to the place where Manuba Malo they were giving the on the Sakamo tree or whatever. So I got there. He said, "No, don't stand over there. Come here. You want the picture?" He put me on the tree. I was just about a few feet, not even feet, yards, whatever, a few feet away from Manuba Malo, and I was taking pictures. But at the same time, I was scared, petrified. I was thinking to myself, I hope these children don't recognize me. They will flock me here today. I don't get nobody here to defend me. Nobody here know who I am. They don't even know me. They will flock me. So when the guy called me in the middle of the they have the circle tree, they have the circle where Manuba Malu talk and stuff. So they called me in and I was taking pictures. I took a bunch of pictures, lots of pictures. Okay? And one of the things as I was doing, one of the things that was going through my mind was the building, because my bike was turned to the headquarters itself. So I'm thinking to myself, this is the building where those people got killed. And I started feeling real bad. So it's not that we're happy these things happen. But if you're going to do this, if you're going to open a TV station on this day to memorialize those victims, those revolutionary victims, you don't come out, my opinion, not to come out and specific to bring out the violent past. People have died. Sedition have died. Now look, my brothers and sisters, you guys didn't die in vain. We have taken power, and the reason why we were struggling is because we needed to do X, Y, and Z. You got nothing to show. CDC, I said you got nothing to show. Because if you did, you would have used this opportunity today to surely show all Liberians what you've been doing. The others road where you're building Monrovia, that's what you want to show. You didn't even show those things. You didn't even show it. Let's see what you're doing. The mud, when it's raining in Liberia, the whole country is cut off from the capital city. You want to talk about showing what that's how you memorialize those people, the victim, because they didn't come in just to eat. They came because they wanted change in the country. They didn't believe that Madam Ellen Sally was about to deliver the kinds of changes they want. And therefore, they sacrifice their lives so that CDC will come to power and be able to change. Where is the change? Where is the change, CDC, that you're going to remind us of the death of our brothers and sisters? Where is the change? CDC, you can't do this because some of us continue to preach the prosperity that CDC will bring to us. Pro-poor agenda, we're in it. But you haven't done that. Let me show you something else. Since you're in the mood of showing us the past, let's see what this is. Oh my goodness. Look at this. 200 armed CDC partisan. Oh, what did the other one say? Defying sedition supporters storm Monrovia. You care to talk about that? Why bring us back to the past when we're supposed to be moving forward? What is it that you're trying to do? What exactly do you want to achieve by bringing this past tonight? Just to agitate people like Samson told? Well, if that's your intent, you're successful in that. This is what you want us to talk about. We will talk about it. Now let's listen to your finance minister. Let's listen to your finance minister, who will then tell us. But before that, CDC, yet is what you're telling us. Look at this. You came to power after people have sacrificed themselves, died, and you come to power, Minister of Information, Minister of Finance, telling the rest of the Liberians to be quiet. Condescending to us. Condescending to the relatives of those who died. Why they die? They didn't come in to swallow fufu. Because they believe in CDC. They believe that CDC has the will within it to deliver the changes that people have been crying for in Liberia. And then when you came to power, what do? I'm not making up. That's the finance minister and that's the information minister telling Liberians, be quiet. Be quiet. We're not done yet. Show us. Okay. Let me go a little bit more. You can't do this because when you do this, some of us trying to put these things behind us and say these people have something to give. Let's move on. Let me play you another video. Let me show you another video, folks. Samson told LeBron, I'm not here tonight to sugarcoat anything. Listen to this video. This is an exchange during the visit of the finance minister in Philadelphia. Listen to this. And then I'll come on. I'm not done yet. Listen to this.
My next question is, why is it the president keeping those two UN indictees, Emmanuel Shaw and Jasper?
So it's not, I mean, Emmanuel Shaw question, about, these are Nigerians who are not on anything, they have a right to work in the government. So we should stop the practice of demonizing other people when we don't have evidence. The fact that somebody will associate with a past regime and say you are banished and you should associate with no further regime is not fair to them. Okay? We should give all Liberians a chance. The only question you have is that what contribution is each Liberian making currently? People should not be judged because they're associated with a previous regime. That's collectively, that's wrong. Even if they did something that we believe were wrong, and if they're not doing that thing again, the matter is that are they doing or not doing that stuff? I think that's where it has to be.
That's the same finance minister. And I have a video here telling people that people like Benona Ure has no reason whatsoever to rule Liberia. He has no redeeming value as far as minister is concerned. Now, people are questioning the same thing about those who work with the minister and the president. What happened now? These are the same people, the same character. He said, no, that's different. At this time, we shouldn't pay attention to what happened in the past. Let's look at the future. CDC, let's talk a little bit more. Let me go a little bit deeper than that. I will be back. Samson told LeBron Pabrito. Let's go on. Let's listen to CDC finance minister explaining Why is it that Liberia is not yet, it's not making the grade under the MCC? Let's listen to that.
Let's go to the issue that's been on the weekend more dominant, is the issue of the Millennium Challenge corporation accounts. They came out with a scorecard for 2020.
That's correct.
And they announced Liberia didn't do too well. And the GOL responded through MICAC, through a press release yesterday. And it seems to be more concerned about the perception about public corruption. What is being done to reduce that high perception?
So we in the government are challenged to counter this and to provide change public perception of that. This is where the millennium question, the eligibility scorecard. Liberia passed control of corruption this year. Liberia has passed control of corruption in the last 3, 4, 5 years. You know, when I work with the compact, we develop it, we're passing. But the trend is that we need to do more to protect our pass next year. This score this year, we passed 8 out of 10. Last year, we passed 8 out of 10. Last year, we passed inflation, and this year we failed inflation because of where it is. But last year we failed expenditure, and this year we passed expenditure, so there was a swap. I can tell you that next year we're going to pass more than 10 indicators. There were some gains we made that were not reflected this year. For example, the passage of the Domestic Violence Act, and there's some technical issues regarding these that we're working on data quality, so changes will be made.
Let's go to the...
You heard that? They didn't pass. CDC, you were trusted by the Liberian people to take us to a place that perhaps we've never been before. You're going to come today. Today is a very sad day for all of us. We're in the battlefield where people are legally allowed to kill. The death of another human being is a sad thing, let alone on a political engagement. And you have people dying. That's very sad. That's a sad day in the history of Liberia. But to make it into the face of CDC today, CDC should, the hierarchy should not have allowed that. Because CDC is not, the CDC government and the people that are running CDC government are not CDC only, they are Liberians. And the government for all of us. So I'm not too sure what was the purpose of bringing the violent pass today, where you're supposed to open a radio or TV station, hopefully that will benefit all Liberians. And in the process, the initial stage of opening that station, you decide to go this route to remind Liberians of their ugly past. Okay, we say thank you. But we also need to let you know that these people, some of us that are really going to memorialize these people, will tell you that you and the people that are leading this coalition needs to do more so that these people's death will not be in vain. Let's play the minister again. Here's another one. Ronnie Sheikh getting ready to ask some heavy question here. Is this why people die? Let's listen to Ronnie Sheikh asking question.
An average man wakes up in the morning and all he hears is the news of high-rise structures constructed by the president. What's restraining members of the executive branch, for example, from publishing their assets, and which make it more significant? I mean, I think that will boost the economy and international perception of Liberia anyway. Okay, so you see, we're in a world of perception, and so without evidence, and we're talking about things that may not be factual. The unfortunate thing is that the people who don't have this information are the ones who are. So let's say the perception on buildings going up. All right. Somebody is saying that because the president built, so the government is corrupt. Let me say you this, Rodney. This president has overcommitted. I can use that word. He's overcommitted government resources to the extent that there is nothing really significant for anybody to take. The president declared tuition free. He's paying WAEC. He came in, he took 7-8 million and gave to LEC for debt. He's 12 million that was available to do something else, he used it and pay health workers. By the time you add all of those things, you're talking around $26 million US that this government does not have control over to spend anyway.
So it took 26 million and lock it in a way, what we call non-discretionary spending. You can't do anything about the 2,000 people you're paying because you assigned 12 million there. You can't do anything much about free tuition because you're spending some 3 million now. You can't do anything about WIAC because those students paying WIAC fee. That 2 million multiplied by 6 is a 12 million investment that the previous government had. This president doesn't have that. With all of these commitments, and on top of that, commitment on new military hospital, all of the roads projects, okay, that we did, you take all of that, you're talking an additional 25 million. What are you? So the argument that George Manuel Weah puts up a building, and so it means the country is corrupt, that George Manuel Weah has never had the money to do so, and he started constructing these things. It's unfair for that to be the reason why somebody is saying there's corruption. Because when you ask for the evidence on corruption, it is not there. When we talk about governance systems we can have the conversation about improving governance, but you cannot say that the public is financing the president.
An average.
So, CDC, first of all, I want to again congratulate you guys to bring out the TV station. And I'm hoping that this TV station will not be used to hunt and look for enemy of the state. That this TV station will be used to put out your developmental agenda. That this TV station will be used to bring out people from your government and let them show the Liberian people, or even in the diaspora, what exactly you guys are doing. It shouldn't be a TV station that will talk about how bad people treated CDC before and how CDC is empowered, but people want CDC to fail. This should not be the purpose for this TV. This should not be the purpose for the TV station. This TV station, I will hope and I pray that it will be used to benefit all of us. Because it's a public, not public entity, but it's a public forum, I will hope, where because when you're playing your TV, when you're having your TV, people are watching from all over the world. Okay? So I will hope that your TV station will be utilized for the purpose of benefiting, something that will benefit all of us as Liberians. I hope so. I hope so, and I pray. Okay, so let me go on. That will be what I want to talk about tonight about CDC and the TV station, the launch. Once again, I want to congratulate you guys, but please let it don't be some sort of a propaganda machinery, because you're not going to succeed if you make this TV station, as wonderful idea as it is, if you make it into a propaganda tool, then you're no different from any other propaganda tool that is being used presently in Liberia that you've been accusing people of. Folks, this is Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio. Let me go on to my main subject matter now. This is not even the main subject matter. The main subject matter here tonight is this. And I think Dr. Weah needs to do more than what he did here quite recently. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, this is about the issue with Root FM and the Republic of Liberia. Okay, the article that's from Daily Observer. Dr. Weah and the magistrate. But according to the article, and this is my main subject here tonight, and so I will hope that people will pay attention to this. According to the article, the magistrate was the one that issued the rate of seizure, whatever it is. I'm not a lawyer, so please allow me. Okay? So when the people went and seized all the property and things that the Roof FM parent company decided to challenge this. But the government decided no, they wanted. Their argument was the Roof FM parent company has no standing. And the judge, having read all of the argument, denied the government challenge and said that Root FM parent company has a standing, and therefore, according to the story, Dr. Weah decided to replace the magistrate. The magistrate has been replaced by appointing someone else. That means if this man is truly being replaced, he's no longer going to be involved in the case. What is the reason? What is the reason? And these are some of the reasons why Liberia flunk the MCC, because we're not able, with this kinds of thing that's happening, how do you then strengthen the judiciary? If for some reason, and I'm assuming here, I don't know, but if this man was removed because the judgment against the government, since it was not in the favor of government, and therefore, since he didn't rule for us, let's get him out. Who advising this president to do these kinds of stuff? Okay? We cannot do that. Let me read this. Let me read it, then I'll go on to President George Weah has with immediate effect replaced statutory magistrate Ernest F.B. Bond of the Monroe City Court, whose ruling on November 4, 2019 disagree with argument by the government lawyer in the rate to close down the Root FM 102.7 radio station owned by talk show host Henry Petro Costa. We know how Costa has been a thorn aside of CDC. We know Costa has been on the thorn aside of Dr. Weah. We know that. And so when you're approaching that, the perception, you heard the minister talk already about perception. People perceive these things to be different than what it is. So if the president wants to do that, what would be the reason to rush this kinds of stuff? Interesting. These people are not stupid. Liberia, we better pray we don't go back into unnecessary fight among ourselves. Because I've been arguing all along that if anything happened to any of us now, that we have to go back into whatever it was, it's going to be difficult to get out because Liberians are sophisticated nowadays. So there are people within the government, I believe, that was doing their research, and they find out the Constitution is completely silent on the magistrate and who employ or who appoint or who did what with magistrate. Only the Supreme Court justices and the subordinate judges. There's nothing stated in the Constitution about magistrates. Okay? So they can argue. The fact that and another organization, I'm not trying to compare, but there's an organization here in the United States who has his board of director of that organization has put something in their board rules to say anything that the Constitution of the association is silent on, the board has the authority to interpret or make law, make whatever it is. And that's exactly what is happening here. They recognize that the Constitution is silent on magistrates, how they get appointed and what have you. And based on past history, they've been appointed by the president and sometimes dismissed by the president. Okay? So there's no specific ruling to say the president cannot do this. But this thing, to be honest with you, doesn't pass a smell test. It means this government, and I'm putting my own words out there. This government is in for Root FM. And those of us that are in the social media business, we shouldn't be quiet on this. We should not be quiet on this. Because if it happened today to these people, it could happen to any of us tomorrow. Yeah, you're here in the United States now, so the law, the ugly hand of Liberian law can't reach you, or whatever second-hand law, whatever they have, it can't reach you. But you're still a Liberian. Why, if you go home tomorrow, they decide to do the kind of thing to you? So my point here with this, there's no reason for this government. Unless they can tell us the reason. But the article didn't tell us why this man was removed. So you will assume the man just made a ruling. That's just human nature, folks. Just made a ruling. Next day he was removed. Ruling against government, government remove you. Ruling against government, government. So what is it? Ruling against government one hand, government remove you without giving any justification. However, the president also, he doesn't have to tell you. So let's go on. Okay. Following an order by Magistrate Bond to have the radio station shut down and its equipment confiscated, which was executed on Thursday, blah, 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 October 10, 2019, Root heading the parent corporation decided to challenge the ruling, challenge the entire process. And they just, okay, let's listen to the argument. And that's how you're supposed to do it anyway. So he listened to the argument. Now, there's one or two things that is happening here. I will also assume when these people, because in order, I was assumed, I'm not a lawyer, but in order for you to ask the judge to sign a rate of confiscation to take people property, you have to specify reason, and you have to quote certain law that allow the judge to be reasonable and allow that. I will assume. So, yes, the other thing here, if the judge can come back to say this process was illegal, that means those who sent that, because it's the same judge, that means those who sent that paper to the judge, they lied to the judge. Excuse me. Won't you agree? They must have lied to the judge. Make up story for the judge to say, yes, okay, this particular article apply here, so let's go ahead. And when the judge finds out, after the Root FM parents started arguing, and the judge said, wait a minute, what have I done here? I've given you guys the permission to go and seize, and it doesn't apply here. So he rules against the government without him faulting the government for lying. He could have done that. He could have done that. Okay? But let's go on. So, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, okay? This is, and I told you guys already, Liberians are sophisticated now. You don't want to gain any kind of argument with Liberians. Those days are over. Where you say, you know who I am, it ain't happening anymore. You can be CDC set. People will challenge you. So when they challenge that, the judge decided, okay, let's look into it. And then when he looked into it, he find out that this is not right. So you rule against the government. Now, the removal. So the article focused on the removal of this judge. Why was he removed? It wasn't stated. But they focused on the authorities of the president to remove a magistrate. And when they look, there's nothing in the Constitution that says so. Let's look at something. Article 73 of the Constitution of Liberia. No judicial official shall be summoned, arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried civilly or criminally by or at the instance of a person or authority on account of judicial opinion rendered or expressed. You see where I'm going with this thing? By the time I'm done with it, my conclusion of being president, we are is violating the Constitution. Unless they can tell us that this man is corrupt. Unless they can tell us that this man do not have the standing within the community to lead or to be part of this judicial process. Other than that, if you can't give us any reason, then I will also come out and assume that the president of the Republic of Liberia have violated the Constitution. Let me read that again. So before you go on, well, you know nothing, you're not a lawyer. Let me read that again. I'm not a lawyer, but I got sense. I got common sense. I got total sense that you don't have. Let me go ahead. Article 73 of the 1986 Constitution. No judicial official, it says, shall be summoned, arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried civilly or criminally by or at the instance of any person or authority on account of judicial opinion, rendered or expressed, judicial statement, made, judicial act done in the course of a trial, open court or in chamber, except for treason or other felonious misdemeanor or breach of the peace. Statement made, act done by such official in the course of judicial proceedings shall be privileged and subject to the above qualification. No such statement made or act done shall be admissible into evidence against that particular person. So why can't I say, if the president and the executive cannot give us good reason that this man have committed a treasonable act, then why won't you agree with me that the president, by dismissing this man, have also, if he dismisses this man based on the man's action, then the president is in violation of the Constitution. You know, I'm going to say this, and I am getting ready to put a foot in my own mouth here, but who cares? I'm Samson to Mblaku. I can do that anytime. CDC, Dr. Weah, we respect, especially I do truly respect Dr. Weah, and I truly believe that Dr. Weah can change things around. But from this little stuff here and there, things that are not quite in line with the Constitution, his behavior and the behavior of the executive continue to be contravening the Constitution, then it gave pause to some of us that consider ourselves praising to the CDC and Dr. Weah and what have you. Because if you're going to do these kinds of stuff because you believe that you have the numbers, and you believe that you're running the government based on popularity and not based on Constitution, then I think we're held in the wrong way. We're held in the wrong way. And I'm not the only person that reading these things. You cannot continue to ask the international community to come and rescue you economically, and you continue to violate these kinds of little. What's the point of this man being dismissed? What kinds of crime has he committed? You guys steamroll just a Jamba the last time, and Liberian kick and cry. They didn't go anywhere because you have the numbers against him. And this one again, he's a judicial person. He's not being dismissed because the Constitution is silent on whether the president have the authority to dismiss a magistrate, and therefore you decided to take that opportunity, knowing fully well that the Constitution is silent on it. So you decided the executive decided to abuse that part of the system. So then you're giving, some of us are becoming to be concerned as to whether this government is capable of strengthening the institution that we need in that country to move forward. Young Liberians are leaving Liberia almost every day, not running away, but to educate themselves. And you expect these people to come back to help you build the country. But you put Costa. I told you guys to leave Costa alone long time ago. Long time ago. What would Costa do? Costa is the second most popular person in Liberia. You continue to give Costa room to do what he's doing. Pay Costa no mind. Costa and the people say they're going to sit in the street until heaven come down. Let them sit in the street. Let them tell you what part of the street they're going to sit until Judge Real government comes down. And you say, okay. And the government also have the right to designate area where you cannot go for security reasons. And the corridor that take the president route from house to work, that corridor should not be disturbed for security reasons. I think many democratic countries that have a democratic tendency will agree with that. If Costa and the people say we're going to demonstrate until the president comes down, say, what part of Montreal y'all will stay? They say we stay here. Say, y'all sit down there. Y'all want us to bring benches for you? Who children Costa then going to take out of school and sit there for months until the president comes down? That's their business. That's their business. Those children who those parents who allow their children to stay in the street, they also going to have to face the music because the government have the right to come to these parents to say, why are your kids not in school? But you don't want to do it. You look how they kind of mess you up what you're saying because of Costa. Somebody advising the president. That's a complete violation of the Constitution. Unless you can tell us, once again, that this judge, this magistrate, have committed a treasonable act. Or he's so corrupt that he's not a good fit to do these kinds of work. And nothing has been stated. So why can we not assume that this government have this man dismissed because they don't like the ruling he handed to the government? This is not right. It is difficult when you have these kinds of stuff. At the same time, you want people to talk about the good things you're doing in the country. Even if the good is outweigh the bad, but the bad stands out, then it's difficult for some of us to come out here and say the pro-poor agenda, this pro-poor agenda, even though we don't agree with most of the things you guys do, but we can't just put these things, sweep them under the rug and say the pro-poor agenda. Pro-poor agenda, the judiciary, the strengthening of institutions is part of the pro-poor agenda. And if you're going to violate the rule of the country, the glue that have all of us together, that bind us together, if you're going to chip away those rules, Mr. President, we will talk about it. It's not right. Unless they can show us that this man did certain things during the trial. He took bribe during the trial. I can see. But you cannot be silent and expect some of us to just run away with this. I call Mr. Jeru, Jason Jeru, who I believe want to be in the picture. He got to be in the picture. So, I called him early this morning and told him what I was going to do because he's one of those who's been writing negatively, as far as I'm concerned, against Custer and his people. Okay? So I called him and said, this is what happening. Well, he did his show today, and he's also very, very much against this idea. In fact, he wrote something. Okay? So this is not something that we would take lightly. You cannot do that. Let's go. Let me just look at a few articles here that I want to read so people will understand some of the thing here. Okay, let's go to article. Let me see if I can find Article 68. Okay, Article 68 of the Constitution of Liberia. Okay, I'm going to try to read that. In the article, chapter, I believe it's chapter 6 or 7, I believe, all have to do with judiciary. So if you want to look it up, please do so. But I can't find 68 right now, but let me go on to, yes, 68. Article 68 also provide the Chief Justice and Associate Justice of the Supreme Court shall, with the consent of the Senate, be appointed and commissioned by the President, provided that any person so appointed shall be citizen of good moral character. Okay? And counselor or of the Supreme Court bar who has practiced for at least 5 years. Okay. So the president can appoint those people, and they have to be confirmed by the Senate. But if you go through that chapter that have to do with judiciary, there's nothing in that state. There's nothing there that talk about magistrate. It talk about subordinate court members. So I will assume subordinate to justices, that will be magistrate. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just saying that for the president to take this kinds of drastic step, maybe they used to do it before. Maybe Tubman then did it, Tubman then did it, you know. But at that time, something told I thought when Tubman was doing it, Tubman was doing it, I don't even know how to read. But I can read now. No, on a very serious note, Liberians are sophisticated now. You can't just do this overnight. You cannot. This is not right. Okay, you can't just get up and say, I don't like the ruling. Be careful, Dr. Weir, because it's very easy to slip into dictatorship. And it's difficult to get out. The route you're taking, oh man, it doesn't bode well. For those of us that believe in you, that you, the president, you have the ability. You came here the last time, you said the government of Republic of Liberia, and CDC government. And that's who you are. Don't let these people push you so much into the bubble that you start doing these things, start chipping away people's rights. Custer. Henry Custer. People say, oh, Henry Custer, he ain't got no respect for anybody can come. Okay. I believe very strongly Henry Custer is a very respectable person. I've seen it. I've seen the video. I played the video over and over and over for myself. He's a very respectable person. And I truly believe that when the time comes for Henry Custer to want to go for higher office in our land, Henry Custer will change. He's not going to stay like that. But that's not about that. You go and do these things. The lawyers, people who practice law at the Supreme Court, when they start making comment, like the president don't have the right to do that. They start challenging your authority. And the fact that nobody calling their own name, they say, don't call my name. In the article, they say, don't call my name. But they know that your position is wrong. Mr. President, it's just a matter of time. Because you're seeing sooner or later they're going to clash. The ideas these people are giving you of firing people anytime you want, especially in the judiciary system. So later, you will be challenged. And this man here, well, no, who knows? Maybe he might even go to the Supreme Court. Unless you guys can show any other reasons. What you have done, you should now have Henry Costa and his people. Oh, the first thing they say, the government's scared of us. Government don't have no reason. The first thing they say, the government ain't got no reason to do what they're doing. They've been lying all along. Whole day, this November 7th, you only have one shining star, the appointment of Honorable Elisha Talon, not because he's my brother, but to make sure that someone else take charge of the economic system, specifically the banking institution Liberia, that's a good shining star. But the people that were accused, economic sabotage, they were not found guilty. And these were the people that people were carrying rumors, tape, videotape, and audio tape all around here, how they stole, how they were going to steal, and everything. Nothing. They were not found guilty. Today, it came up that the president dismissed a judge, magistrate. Not good. The president cussing had an interview where he said the government of the Republic of Liberia was so corrupt that they were willing to take bribe just so that people would do business in Liberia. Mame, man, we are. That we are not going well. These people, you got to let them know. Liberians are sophisticated. You're not going to pour wolf over their eyes all the time, oh man. It ain't going well. It ain't going well. But I trust that you have the ability that you will find a good footing within the next year or so. You will find a good footing that you will bring back this country to where you want it to be. Because right now, if they continue to go like this, and for some reason you get defeated during the election, you got no legacy. What are you going to show? That you've been building Alice Road in Monrovia? What you got to show? They look at the issue you have over there in Nuclear Town. People are challenging your authority to appoint somebody because someone decided to give you wrong information. They borrow, they looking time, they got their own paper, they got their own rules. Before you get involved into the local politics, get involved in their rules. Say, what are the rules? Even the pom-pom boy, they got rules. Even the bye-bye cigarette smoker, then they got rules in Liberia because they have organizations. You can't just get out and get into the people organization and say, because I this or that. You do that. Look how much challenge New Town is giving you. Folks, this is Samson Toll. This is Samson Toll at Brown Public Radio, who's been having some issue with my audio here. I mean, not audio, but my video from time to time because I refuse. And this is some of the listen to this. Listen to this. Yeah, I am telling Dr. Weah he need to follow the rule. And these people that the white people that make all of these things that I'm talking on, they told me what I need to do to open my show. And I said, no, I'm from Total, I will do it the Total way. And they're not working right. Samson Toll, La Proper Radio. Let me just give you a little bit of music and then I'll put on a very serious note, folks. We can't continue to do these kind of things to ourselves. We can't do these kind of things to ourselves. I have so many videos here I could be playing, but what good would it do us? What good would it do us? Okay? The intent here again tonight is not to degrade. It's not to degrade, but simply to tell the government and then the people who are leading that it's very easy to slip into dictatorship. I'll give you one story. And this story is it's a little bit tricky because I'm involved in this story. But I'll try to tell you just a little bit. And those of you that know the story, you want to dispute me, that your business. I know what I'm talking about. So after the coup in 1980, the intent was to be in power for 1 year. And then the civilian will come in. And the argument some of them had was this. They didn't trust people like Bacchus Matthew. They didn't trust most of the young people to come in to take the power. But But the argument was, let them. Once the army go back in the barracks and these people take over, Liberian people will see for themselves that these people are just talking blah, 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 blah. They got nothing to offer. Then the Liberian themselves will beg the army people to come back and help them. Then your legitimacy will be greater. That argument didn't win. It didn't win. The other argument was no, we'll stay here, we'll fix it. And before we look, we're taking uniform up, we're putting coat suit on, and we want to be president. It was not Dr. Dr. Doe was qualified, don't get me wrong. At the latter end of his presidency, you saw how much he was trying to fix Liberia. But by that time, the well has already been poisoned. Nobody wanted to listen. And look now, people are missing him. If that argument that I'm saying that was put forward, if it has been listened to, because people like Dr. I'll give you another example. Immediately after the coup, it was few people, including Pazavier. They seen Pazavier, man. The one you're talking about. They all came to the United States. And when they got here, things were rocky for them because the American Liberian kids that were here refused for these people to have any kind of town hall meeting. They go to town hall meeting, it will cussing them. I was there. I saw it. I was there every night. I'm in Rhode Island. I said I was there. I don't need to tell you everything else. But anyway. So when they left and went back, the argument against, true story. I'm not lying to you. True story. They went to UN conference over there in New York. So the PRC member that came, there was the government put them in a hotel. So the kind of food, and true story, I'm not making it up. The kind of food they give them, macaroni, salad, and what have you. So when they got back to Monterey, they had went to a meeting. And one of the PRC members stood up and said, this is the people that will say they want to be president of the country. You took us from here and true story, my people, I'm not lying. You took us from here and took us to America, and you gave it up worms. That macaroni, they call it worms. True story. You gave us worms. You gave us food that ain't even cooked. You think we kind of better go to be eating those raw food? While you're eating quesadilla and palm butter, then we over there eating all kind of, that you will be the and there was a big argument about that. And those people were the educated members of Mountain Group apologized to them. Say you're sorry. Next time when we tell you, we'll get your quesadilla. But those are things that I'm saying. If you don't know how to deal with people, you find yourself making decisions that you think you're helping. In the meantime, you're hurting people. So once again, before I put my number up, let me just say this. The Liberian people are sophisticated nowadays. There will be people that will challenge you. CDC, the same thing back in the days you used to challenge Madam Salif. People are challenging you now too. I keep saying this over and over. The thing you did that brought you to power, people want power from you. They will try to emulate. If they try to follow your footsteps, you need to be ahead of them. 2-3 steps ahead of them. While they're picking up your footsteps, you're way ahead. That's how you're going to win this. Now, so, the people picking up, then you turn around, go challenge them. You're wasting your time. Because those people are following your footsteps. They're not coming new thing. They're doing the same old thing. By now, it's sedition. You people should be able to know how you did your stuff. The people doing it, oh, look at the people. When we've been there, we've done that. Come, well, let's do. You the one going to take the new route. and the opposition will continue to follow because they have nothing to stand on except to follow your footstep. But you turn around, every time they come, they turn around, you want to challenge them. In the meantime, nobody going forward. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, folks, let me open the line, and let me see how my phone's standing. Okay, all right. The phone is in a good position. Okay, let me see. Just give me a moment. Let me put my. Okay, all right. It's on. Give me a call. Let me put my number up there, folks. And I'm not gonna be here. It's weekend coming though. Weekend, folks. Weekend coming. No, that would not work. Okay. Oh, that would not work either. Okay. I know what it's gonna work on this one. Yeah. All right. Let me put my number up there. Give me a call, 916. Okay, 916-533-2048. And let me hear your view on this. In the meantime, let's do this.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me the buffer. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not broken, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not broken, we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. Alcohol, 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 and the build is on me. Bartender, alcohol, 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 and the build is on me.
Again, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, folks. We're not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna be here that long tonight. It's Friday. Did I do any kind of safety thing? Well, I was so involved into my program that I didn't do any safety. Safety. Don't drink and drive. Stay away from texting and driving. That would be the safety. Give me a call, 916-533. It's up there. The number is up there, folks. Let me just go ahead and read your stuff in the meantime. Let's do this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, what's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind? Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. For some reason, okay. Go ahead. Make your point. I'm not too sure why I'm not. Oh, okay. Never mind. My fault. Hold on. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead. What's on your mind, sir?
I'm coming from
Okay.
yeah, I just want to say congratulations for Chalo.
Yes.
I don't know him personally, but I'm a Liberian, but I follow most of the Nigerian politics, and I've not heard him did, but I personally feel that he's one of the examples that few Nigerians in the diaspora can look up for a good example, because in our community we have Nigerians who are highly educated, but they are very highly involved in community politics. And who are highly educated, they are just supported and try to make things happen. And I think Wataru is one of those guys that I think LIBERIA can count on, because as we since his appointment, I saw the appointment letter. I've been trying to trace who he is, why his involvement in community politics, especially Grandian. And I called a lot of people who knows him very well, and they gave me little insight about his activity and stuff. So I think it's one of the good appointments the president has made so far, and we should accept it as a challenge for us to endorse that appointment and move forward. So that's my input tonight. I just want to say congratulations to Honorable Talu and to the entire people of Grandide and the diaspora in our life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Folks, Honorable Talu, like I stated before, very intelligent, highly educated. But one thing about him is that he doesn't like to boast. He's not like people like me. He don't tell people what he know. He want people to know that for you to know. Once he start talking or start doing something, he say, "Oh, but it may smile like that. I don't know." That's how he is. You will never. You can go into all the records in the Grand community. You will not find Honorable Talu making accusation or saying things or anything. He's very respectful. Very respectful. There are few people who will say, I don't even see it in our community. I don't even see it. And but he will show himself. You guys will find out. I mean, this is a high profile position, and you will find out. You will find out. But all I say is that let us give him an opportunity. And I will be one of those, if he's not doing something good, even though he's my little brother, but if he's not doing something good, I will say so. I will say so. But I know my brothers in the community. I know those who they get certain position. I know they don't know nothing, just like me. But there are some brothers, my own brother, then when those people that know plenty than me, well, as soon as they get a position, I'll be jumping up and say, "Hey, hallelujah, thank God," because they know plenty more than me. Samson told LeBron Pablo, give me a call here. But anyway, thank you, my brother, for calling. We appreciate it. Anybody else? Somebody was calling me earlier, but yeah, when you call and I'm not able to answer, that means somebody is online. So let me go ahead and while I'm reading. Okay. Anyway, let's go on, folks. Like I said, I'm not going to be here that long, so please give me a call. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. I also want to say this here. I want to say this here, and this has nothing to do with politics, except to say we Liberians, we have to do something that will give us the leg up. We can't come to these public forums every time accusation without finding solution. Let's also, I told you guys the last time, most of the problem in Liberia, all of the yo in Liberia, they all start from here, America. Most of them start from here. Okay? Do you guys know that one guy called Milton Tiaji? I think he's a senator now. Well, Milton Tiaji used to be at Kent State University. That's where he did his first degree. And when he was there, there's another fellow now in Sacramento, also was doing a PhD. He's from Sierra Leone. We all used to be down there. But anyway, so Milton Tiaji, at one time, this is what most Liberians are like that, especially young Liberians. So one time they have all Liberian conference. They have these PhD from Germany, all over the world. And they, at that time, was still in Ohio. So they had a conference over there in Akron University, where they have Firestone Rubber Plantation headquarters in Akron, Ohio. But anyway, so Milton Tiaji was the MC that night. So Milton Tiaji, if you know Milton Tiaji, you know what I'm talking about. Milton Tiaji liked to hear big words. You start talking and you talk big boy, he take the mic from you quick. So that night, Dr. Sawyer, the only person that was not there was Dr. Famler, but Dr. Sawyer, Dr. Tipote, Dr. Farah, all of those big Liberian book people, they were there. And Milton Teji would come on and call this other person. The person started speaking because there was not many book people among them. People that something to were there. Where you come and speak that big English? Well, I don't know anything. So people recognized that some of us, we know nothing. So they were speaking to our level. Milton Teji didn't like that one. So I'm like, oh, hey, okay. Well, yeah, what you say now? Give me mic. So apparently one of this PhD doctor from Berlin recognized that. So when the time came, he said, I noticed, and he made it clear. He said, I noticed something here tonight. The MC likes to hear the language, big words, and then if you continue to use big words, he let you stay as much as possible. And therefore, I will try to use this opportunity to keep this mic as much as the man started doubling. Black up. Oh, I can't repeat it now. I don't even know that. Black up. All the big words. Mitchell, they go, what? Yeah, I like the man. Keep the mic. It was so funny. Then, of course, Dr. Sawyer came and said, no, this is not how we're going to go. Dr. Sawyer made a point to say, he said, Milton, one of the things about being educated, he says, and I still remember that very well. He said, as an educated person, you must be able to recognize your audience. Because if you're talking to people, sanitary people, you should be able to speak the language that they will be able to understand. If you're speaking to PhDs and what have you, you speak the language that perhaps they will be able to understand. And if you have the ability to bring yourself to the level of your audience, then you become a good speaker. I remember that. And the reason I'm bringing this up right now, many Liberians, especially young Liberians, will easily be convinced by the way you speak the language, the English. And that's one of the reasons why if you go, now CDC, they calm down now. But before, when they first started, they used to take adjective and put it with something else. Look, they knock it down. They go, yeah, politically, gladiator, blacker. What all that want for? I don't know. But the young people, they gravitate towards that. And that's not people like Honorable Talu. Honorable Talu, one of the things that I know, even as much educated as that, smart and educated as he is, when he gets a mount, in fact, he doesn't talk. Those of us that know him, nothing much, unless he's asked to make statement. Other than that, he comes and sit down and listen. Listening, he does. Okay, we were asked, and let me just give you guys a little bit of something here. We were asked by the former Grand Juda County President, Fred Talu Guayam, to do a feasibility study because with Fred and most Grand Judeans were concerned with the road condition in Liberia and the fact that the alien government was not paying attention to us. At that time, Grand Juda Association was truly in a position to do anything they want to do, especially when it comes to road, because we had the numbers and we can come up with the fund. That's for sure. Thomas Collins, former President Thomas Collins, has put Grand Judeans together so much that he was able to galvanize Grand Judeans. And in fact, if you have heard the story about Grand Juda County having the largest convention ever in the Liberian community in Phoenix, was Grand Juda Association under Thomas Collins. So Honorable Fred Green recognized that, and that he felt that we have the numbers and we can come up with the funding. And so he wanted to put a group together to do a feasibility study. And me, as an engineer with a big mouth, they asked me to do that. I said, fine. But I wanted some credibility because I don't get credibility. Now, you know now, I don't get credibility. Nobody, I'm not credible at all. And with my BB mouth, I don't get no credibility. So I needed credibility. So I asked to see if Mr. Talu could join us. And one of the reasons of bringing Talu on board, because Talu worked as an investment banker. And so he knows most of these people that can give money donate to charity and what have you. He has the ability to identify those. So by us bringing him on board, and if we were to put together, on a very serious note, if we were to put together a binder, okay, that we can actually, and I had the ability to do that myself. You know me, I ain't got nothing to hide. I tell you what, but we could have put a binder together explaining the project, and then have Mr. Talu to see if he can sell that project, and he was willing to do that. We had among us, we had 3 engineers, 2 civil engineers, 1 mechanical engineer. And then we have Mr. Talu, and then we have a few other people that were not engineering related field, but they were educated as well. The only person among us that were not educated was me. I don't know nothing. So, but anyway, we brought Mr. Talu on, and Mr. Talu, when we have these kinds of conference meeting and things, okay, he's listening. On the conference call, okay, Mr. Talu, this is where we are. What do you have to say? Okay. Let me go through my notes. Okay, Mr. Stoll, you said this. Mr. Susu, you said this. Mr. Susu said, okay. All right. Now, all of these things, he have written down each of us statement. And from there, he will be able to form an informed decision. That's who he is. And I admire him. There's one other person in my community is like that. I don't want to call names. But this person is also highly educated. Those of us that don't know nothing, there are people that all you will see on Facebook making big more. Oh, I know that thing you're doing a good thing. You're better steal too much. Mr. Talu will not accuse anybody of stealing anything until there is proof. Okay? So I've had interaction with him. The chapter, and I'm going to say this now too. There's chapter in Minnesota. All right? Minnesota Grand chapter. Folks, I'm not too sure why I'm telling you that, but I'll tell you anyway. It is nothing secret here. So Minnesota Grand chapter in Minnesota started having some issues. Legitimate issues, legitimate concern. And they started having these things they want to break away, what have you. So I felt within myself that I needed to be involved because Samson too. I'm one of the older gentlemen in the community, and the young people respect me because I respect them as well. So I called the board, I called the president, and I wanted to be involved. They said, okay, go ahead, do what you have to do to bring people back together. So I called a few of my little brothers. I called them. And one of them was even on ULAB, Big Shine ULAB, whatever, But they all agreed that we need to work together. And they never one day questioned why we're doing this. From the beginning, there was a clear understanding among us, especially from Mr. Talu, that we have to go into this knowing fully well that we're facing other people that have opinions. And that we shouldn't go with a closed mind. We should be able to have an open mind to get in there and find out what the deal is and see how best we can resolve it. Now, folks, if you have somebody like that, why would he not be successful? I said, no, baby, I don't want what I want. I something told, I block you. Where I say my go? He said, no, big brother. You know the people, that they're not going to let you push anybody around. So let's approach them from that perspective. I agree. Because that was the right thing to do. I can't say no. That's who he is. Folks, those of us that know him, we're trying to tell you that I think that if the opportunity is there, and I know who he is, I don't think he's anxious to take on position that he knows he's not going to be able to work. He's not going to be able to produce. That's not his style. When he joined us on the committee to do the education, to do the role stuff, he continued to say, I'm not an engineer and I don't attend and I will not assume the responsibility of an engineer. Even if we don't know why I know, but what I can bring on the board is this. And this is what I can do. So let me just tell you that. And so that's who Mr. Talu is. And I'm very glad that I wish I could call him, big brother, thank you. This is how he talk. Big brother, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, we just do our best, just like that. And other people, okay, here's the other interesting thing that happened today. Mr. Taylor was being appointed. Another young man from my area was also being acquitted. But when he was acquitted, he decided to turn. He decided to write some all kind of. I don't agree with that. If you, and this is the difference. If you were charged and you get acquitted or something, you let the people talk for you. But instead, you start saying things that are not conducive to the situation, then I feel that you're quite not prepared to do whatever it is that you wanted to do. Folks, Samson told, let me get out of here. Let me get out. I will be back Monday, of course. Monday is holiday. Before I go, let's listen to this video here. I want to play this video, and I'm getting ready to get out, folks. Samson told I'm getting ready to get out. But what I like about this video is almost Samuel Toure and his people to recognize that, and then again, if they don't listen to what Samuel, or don't practice what Samuel Toure is doing and decide they want to go by the route of CDC TV, they're going to fail. I'm beating around the bush. If that CDC TV the people put up, if it is for propaganda, they will fail. But if they use it to promote many Liberians, whatever it is, in whatever area they're doing, they will be successful. Okay. But here's what Samuel Toure decided to do. I hope he keep her. Ronnie Shea has been one of those that will write critically about this government. And they decided, okay, Samuel Toure go face Ronnie Shea. And Ronnie Shea, listen to the question Ronnie Shea was asking. Ronnie Shea didn't quite ready to give it. He decided, when you read, okay, let me go back. In Town, go back to Town. But anyway, when you're ready to eat, you and your brother, your sister, the other, because by home, we eat from the same pot. And you are the older person. So when we're eating at the end, when the rice is about ready to finish in the pan, they are thick. But my father would say, you as an older person, you take small, so the next one who next to you will take small, then you'll leave plenty there for the little one. But no, Samson Topa, please, I take, and why should I take big, then I fight you straight? You know what I'm talking about. If you're somebody that grew up in the countryside, you know what I'm talking about. By the way, so this is what Samuel Toure is doing. Okay, Ronnie Shea decided to pack all of the questions together. He didn't know which way to carry hand to be able to, how when you put the rice and then your small pinky finger, you put the big meat on the rice so the people don't see it. Ronnie Shea was trying to do that. But Samuel Toure recognized that. He didn't rush him. So Ronnie Shea decided to push all that question into one. I want you to pick it up. Forget about the contents itself. But let's just pick up the style. Let's look at this. Let's listen to the style. And you will see why they decide to pick Ronnie Shea. Because if Ronnie Shea, another conversation, if Ronnie Shea comes out and continue to ask these kind of double question, 3, 4 questions in one, okay? The CDCs will be promoted, no question. Because if you have Ronnie Shea interview you, and you're coming across as somebody being genuine, then you're done. Let's play it. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio.
Man wakes up in the morning and all he hears is the news of high-rise structures constructed by the president. What's restraining members of the executive branch, for example, from publishing their assets? and which make it more significant. I mean, I think that will boost the economy and international perception of Liberia anyway.
Okay, so you see, we're in a world of perception, and so
my mic
without
is still
evidence,
in-
and
okay.
we're talking about things that may not be factual. The unfortunate thing is that the people who don't have this information are the ones who are. So let's say the perception on buildings going up. All right, somebody is saying that because the president built, so the government is corrupt. Let me say this, Rodney. This president has overcommitted. I can use that word. He's overcommitted government resources to the extent that there is nothing real significant for anybody to take. The president declared tuition free. He's paying WAEC. He came in, he took 7-8 million and gave to LEC for debt. He's 12 million that was available to do something else, he used it and pay health workers. By the time you add all of those things, you're talking around 26 million US dollars that this government does not have control over to spend anyway. So it took 26 million and lock it in a way, what we call non-discretionary spending. You can't do anything about the 2,000 people you're paying because you assigned 12 million there. You can't do anything much about free tuition because you're spending some 3 million now. You can't do anything about WAEC because those students paying WAEC fee. That 2 million multiplied by 6 is a 12 million investment that the previous government had. This president doesn't have that. With all of these commitments, and on top of that, commitment on new military hospital, all of the roads projects, okay, that we did, you take all of that, you're talking an additional 25 million. What are you? So the argument that George Manuel Weah puts up a building, and so it means the country is corrupt, that George Manuel Weah has never had the money to do so, and he started constructing these things. It's unfair for that to be the reason why somebody is saying there's corruption. Because when you ask for the evidence on corruption, it is not there. When we talk about governance systems we can have the conversation about improving governance, but you cannot say that the public is financing the president.
An average man wakes up in the morning and
The interesting thing about that interview, as far as, and I think the government needs to do this more and more. Because just by interviewing with Ronnie Shea, the government is giving itself credibility. There's no question asked. No question asked. But the interesting thing about that interview is this. Now, do you expect Ronnie Shea to come back in his writing and say the government, Judge Manuel Weah buildings, building he put up the government money or make any kinds of speculation or what have you? People are going to question his motives as well, because he has the opportunity to challenge Honorable Twe. So by not coming back and say, whoa, Mr. Minister, this is what, then the next time he writes to write, he most likely not going to mention that again. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying with this thing? But if you go and continue to call Ronnie Shea, just tiny sedition, you're tiny sedition that you're talking to. You go and continue to call Ronnie Shea a yellow journalist. That he writes, he's a yellow, he's not good at all. You call him names and stuff without addressing the substance of his question or the substance of his topic. And then you go and do what they call abusing the messenger. Then you're making it worse. But by Honorable Twe coming and say, let Ronnie Shea interview me. Ronnie Shea, bring it on. Minister Twe and the government CDC has now given themselves a little cover. And this is what we want them to do from time to time. Folks, this is Samson to Liberian Public. I want to thank all of you again this evening. It's been a wonderful show. We say thank you very much. I hope not to come on the next time, the total wave I have, because I'm not listening to people, so you see that now my video stuck. So hopefully next time when I come on, I will do what the white people want me to do instead of me doing it the total way. So, but on a very serious note, I want to thank all of you again. It's not like you don't have anything to do on a Friday afternoon, especially 3 to 4. 4 days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days weekend, okay? And like you don't have anything to do. You got plenty to do. But to even come on and turn on LIBERIA Public Radio, that's just shows signs of respect. And I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Continue to support us. and we'll continue to do the best we can. One last thing before I close. Whatever statement that is being made here is not coming out of jealousy. These are statements, my opinion, of course, I'm entitled to it, but I believe in them. I'm not asking you to accept it. I'm not asking you to accept it as it is. In fact, I expect you to challenge me. If you don't agree with me, challenge me. But we must do it with respect. If I'm going to be criticizing this government, I must do so with responsibility. Because if I'm going to criticize and not being responsible in my criticism, then I'm not doing myself a favor either. Because then I'm just being I don't want to use it. Okay? So, but I will do so with respect. Because the person that is occupying the president's office is a human being like any other person. I must first of all respect him as a human being. And second, respect him because he's the president of the Republic of Liberia, which I love dearly. And not only that, he didn't come to the presidency through the back door. He was elected, duly elected by my brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers of the Republic of Liberia. And because I don't agree with their vote, does it mean that I'm going to challenge them and say, no, the Constitution allowed it for us, those of us that don't agree with them, to remove them legally through the ballot box. We must retire Dr. Weah and the entire CDC apparatus through the ballot box. No other way will succeed. Let's give them the chance to continue to blunder. And we use that blunder to campaign against them. But we must do so with respect. We cannot, because you don't agree with him. Therefore, you sit here and insult him. That I don't agree with. Because you don't agree with the CDC, therefore you want to sit down and call for a protest for them to be removed. That I don't agree with. That I'm against. That I don't support, and I think that's a coward way of carrying on. It means to me, it simplest means by you demonstrating, asking for people to get in the street until the president is removed. That means you are the main coward among us. Because you do not have the fortitude to stand and argue your point. That means you have no political standing among us. Because if you do, you will wait for the time allotted for by the Constitution. And you campaign against this government. Bringing out all of the ills of the government. Bringing out all of the bad deals this government has put us through. But at the time the Constitution says you have to do it. But to sit here and call fellow Liberians to stay in the street, until the president calms down, then to me, you are the most coward person on earth, to be honest with you. You do not have the ability to lead, and you will fail. I say so. You know my name? The liberal progressive. Samson Toe. Bloku, they call me. Good night, folks.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me in papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because
borusu ola verio. Angane bei borusu ola verio. Angane bei duro tape makuria kwa ya seba. Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwa yepoza ne kriku ya moreu. Lokolo tali eboru suku. Suku ogere yo omo ya lokolo kete so lori ti doro. Karema tibi enana monyoka kore kanama iye karema tibi enana sono sere kanama pare pepi kuna inana pare waki kanama baye jibo basogo zakati ko pare monyo basogo basogo zakati ko pare munyo basogo tumo wana pare tumo